mob culture, and I'm Italian, so most people when they find out that I'm Italian, they're always like, oh my god, do you have anybody that in the mob that you're associated with? And I'm just like, no. And I never really understood it until I realized that most TV shows and movies that portray the mob, everybody in those movies are Italian. But when in reality, the mobs are from all different countries and all different ethnic groups. The mob originated from revenge. Their main goal is that if somebody does something to them, they want to do something back. So they want revenge. It's kind of like an eye for an eye thing. And they all have the same strategy. They want money and power, and they want everybody to respect them. The structure is very important in the mob, and at the top you have the boss, and the boss is the main person who runs everything. And then he works with the consigliere, or the counselor, which the counselor is usually an older man who has retired from the mob, and he's just giving his advice to the boss. The boss gives all of his directions and information to the underboss, who gives it to the lieutenants. And the lieutenants are usually the people who run the illegal businesses that the mob might be running. Like if they're running gambling, or a lot of them run delis or different types of markets. So these people will run those and then report their money and their intake back to the underboss. And then the soldiers are usually the workers in all these businesses that the lieutenants have. All these people have certain rules to follow too. One rule is that everybody must be loyal and respectful to each other. No matter what, any opinions that they might have, you always have to respect them and you always have to be loyal to each other. Another rule is that basically when you're into the mob, you can never leave. No matter however bad you want to leave, you just can never leave unless it's death, or if you want to rat on somebody, then you go to the FBI and you have to do that. Then you put in jail, but then when you get out of jail, you're still technically in the mob, but it's just really, once you get in, you can never leave unless they want to kill you. And then another rule is silence. In everything that happens in the mob, you have to just keep silent. Anything you do, hear, or say must be kept to yourself, and if you see somebody kill another person, you keep it to yourself and you don't tell anybody. You don't tell anybody what you're doing. It's just the way the mob works. And keeping silent is also a big part of how this culture communicates with each other. All the information that comes in between the mob, that all these people that when they communicate with each other, they always do it in a concealed and coded way. Like if they're going to say, like an example is if somebody introduces them to, oh, this is a friend of mine, it's usually somebody that's a part of the family or their mob group. And then if they say, oh, it's a friend of ours, it's usually an associate or somebody that the family will be working with. And the mob tries to not use telephones as much because the FBI can tap into the telephones. So whenever they do talk on the phone, they try to keep it concealed and coded. So if they say, oh, let's go to the market, then that means they're usually going to meet in either one of their businesses that they're running or at one of somebody's house. The mob is a very complex group and is still thriving today and has a lot of power. The mob is one of the most powerful and active crime groups today in America. And I hope you all know a little bit more about the mob and are interested to find out more. Thank you.